Hey guys, in this video we're going to be reviewing the book Your One Word by Evan Carmichael. I'll teach you how you can increase your success by finding a single word that describes yourself, and I'll find mine in the process. There's also a ton of technical tips on building a brand and business in this book, so I hope you guys enjoy this video and learn something from it. So your one word describes who you are, what you want, and how you are going to grow yourself and your business. Now Evan breaks this book up into three main parts: core, campaign, and company, and uses each chapter to help you find, use, and keep your one word for many reasons. I think the most important thing about your one word is that it helps you keep your true north, what you really want in life during difficult times. Martin Luther King Jr.'s word was equality, Oprah's is heart, and Steve Jobs' was impact. Can you guess what mine is? Basically, the core chapter explains why it's so important to have a single word to describe yourself and how to find it through some simple exercises. It helps you evaluate your life, become a little bit more self-aware, understand your character, and who you want to be in one single word. Something I found helpful in this chapter is that he describes three types of selling. You can sell using a feature. This is when you sell a product marketing it by what features it has. For example, if you're selling a light bulb, you might claim that it will last over 50 years and cost less than $5 a year to power. These are independent features of the product or service. The second form of selling is benefit selling, when you market a product or service to how it will help the buyer. For example, you could say your light bulb will never have to be replaced, and this sells emotionally and practically to the customer who's going to be buying it. The third, however, Evan says is the most important, and it is core selling. It's selling with your one word in mind. Core selling would be like selling your light bulb by showing how buying it would change the world. Maybe you will reduce the total waste on the earth, or reduce energy consumption in a way that makes it very eco-friendly. Steve Jobs said in an interview that it wasn't his first $1 million, his first 10 million, and it wasn't even when he hit $100 million that he felt like he had done his job. It was that he wanted to change the world. The same with Elon Musk. When he started Tesla, he was pretty sure the company was going to fail and go bankrupt and go out of business. He just wanted to change how people saw electric cars, so he did that. Now look at both of those companies, Apple and Tesla. They're very successful because they were founded on one single word, one principle to change the world. Now, just like money, your one word, the one word that you come up with, is also a tool. And the outcome of the use of it is all up to the user of the tool. So I can have a one word, but if I don't practically apply it in my life, it's not going to be useful. Another part of the core section explains why a single word is so important. It's important because that clarity of one single word leads to conviction. Now let me explain. If you have a single word that describes what you want to accomplish in your life, you can simply pass every decision through it and ask yourself, is this supporting or failing my one word? So it helps you make better decisions, and faster decisions too. It helps keep your eye on the long game. It can also help you stay motivated. If you know that you are in it to change the world, and you rely back and look on your one word, it should motivate you. So how can you find your one word? Evan offers 5 questions. What makes you happy? What connects your happiness? What traits do you hate? What's your constant? And is this really who you are? Those 5 questions. He asks you for the first question to write down a huge list of things that make you happy and to really think about it. To save some time, I'll skip to the next question, which is to find what connects all of these things. For me, it's understanding. Understanding stuff helps make me happy, along with learning and teaching things. The answer to the third question for me is ignorance, because I hate it when people don't know stuff, or they don't have access or the tools to further their education, especially when they have the drive and they actually want to. So find out the traits that you hate and find the opposite. The second part of the equation is campaign. So this section is filled with tons of examples of how people have used their one word in the past to create a successful business. Now I love historical examples, and the research Evan did on this chapter is outstanding. There are some technical and practical stuff in there I'd love to teach you about also though. One thing that really resonated with me is to not overthink or overspend on a logo. For example, I spent 30 minutes designing the Practical Psychology logo, and I spent only $25 paying a designer to create it professionally. The logo isn't as important as what the logo stands for, or what you make it stand for. There's a couple more tips the author gives on creating a successful campaign. Tip number 1, name your tribe. For example, if you give your audience a name, you can make them feel special and connected. The Hunger Game fans call themselves tributes. The same with Evan's audience. They are called #BelieveNation. Now, I tried branding my audience as practitioners, but I'm not too sure about that. Charisma on Command is trying to brand his audience, and he even joked in a video about calling his fan cockfighters. Just think of Logang and Jake Paulers. They all have a name for their tribe. Tip number 2 is to use rituals and gestures. Evan uses the famous story of Corona and how they use the lime wedges to brand their product. Another example of a ritual is toothpaste. Now, toothpaste used to never have a flavor. Can you imagine that? Nobody wanted to use it because it didn't have a flavor until they added citric acid, which added a sparkly, clean feeling to the users after they brushed their teeth. And because of this, sales went through the roof. It actually has a little bit to do with the habit loop. Also think of how Jake Paul always dabs on his haters or something like that. Although there is a lot to be learned from successful people, whether you like them or not. Tip number 3 is logos, fonts, and symbols. Use a combination of similar logos, fonts, and symbols to brand your content to your audience. There are many psychological reasons to think deeply about these and make them very important in your business to boost overall performance, but I may make a video about this later. Tip number 4 is colors. Now, colors are very important because they have meaning. For example, I'll list some colors. Red means danger, passion, and love. Examples are YouTube and the Rolling Stones. Black means power and elegance. Examples are Nike and Apple. Blue is dependability, intelligence, and wisdom. Examples are Facebook and practical psychology. Yep, I did do that on purpose when I was starting the channel. Orange is happiness and creativity. Examples are Firefox and Nickelodeon. Green is growth and nature. Examples are John Deere and Starbucks. Purple is royalty and luxury. Now this actually has a lot to do with back in the old ages, when purple was a color that was very rare. So examples are Barbie and Cadbury eggs. And our last one is yellow. It stands for joy and happiness. Examples are Ferrari and National Geographic, but Evan also included IKEA for some reason. The last tip, number 5, is sounds. Think of how my early videos had that famous background music, and how I'm starting to use it again. Most of you can probably remember the Windows loading sound, or the Intel Inside commercial. These are very famous sounds. Evan's videos also have a famous sonic boom type thing. One of my favorite YouTubers starts off his videos by saying,
"Good day, subscribers! Thank you so much for joining me."
These things are very important in launching a campaign. Now the last part of the book is company. Evan talks a lot about building the proper culture and environment of a company that boasts your one specific word. He gives tips on how to hire people in your business, how to fire people in your business, even if you like them, and some other interesting behind the scenes tricks. Another trick he mentions is to give a name to your employees. For example, Starbucks employees are called baristas. He also gives some really interesting and unique tips on how to get more funding and raising capital from venture capitalists. My last practical tip of this book is that when you're pitching to a potential investor, you have to know that you're not just pitching your idea or business. You are actually pitching yourself. The investor isn't just investing in your business, they are investing in you, and they want to know that. And they know the difference between a good executor and a bad executor. Even if they both have a great idea, that can cost millions of dollars. So take that into account when you go to pitch someone an idea. I hope you guys enjoyed this book review, and if you're interested in this book, check out the Amazon link below. If you're interested in listening to this book for free, check out the link below for a free trial at Audible. If you want to check out Evan's channel, there's also a link below, and leave a comment of what you think of what your one word is. And thanks so much for watching, guys.